Hello and welcome to the episode 303 of the Craft Ice Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you today from Norwich in Norfolk, and today is the 13th of November. So welcome everybody. I hope you've all had a lovely crafty week since the last time I've done a video, and I'm here to share all the things that I've been making in the last couple of weeks. So today I've got some knitting, some sewing, some confessions. Oh dear. I have some information in what's occurring and shop update, and then a little appearance from my son Jensen at the end of the video with something crafty. So before we start, I'm sorry about my bunged up sounding voice. I don't feel too bad, it's just a bit of a cold. So hopefully you'll be able to understand me still, even though I sound a bit funny. So first of all, I've got the knitting section, and I have got 3 new patterns coming out tomorrow, and these are all sort of Advent related. So this first one is called the Dragon's Trove Shawl, and it's designed to use 24 10-gram minis or 12 20-gram minis. You could actually make it bigger than the pattern. I just wanted to write it so that you definitely have enough if you've only got 10 grams of the 24 minis or 20 grams of the 12 minis. So there we go. This is the pattern. You have seen this one before because I did give you a bit of a sneaky peek. I will quickly show you what it looks like on in the 2 sort of ways I like to wear it. So if I'm just going to put it around my shoulders to keep the chill off, I put it like this, and the sort of pointy bit comes over the arm there, which is really nice. And you can see the main point comes right down the back, keeps you nice and warm. You can wear it, you could tie it up like this, like so, or you can sort of put it over your shoulders and have like a shawl pin here. But I have another one to show you. You can also do this in DK yarn as well as the fingering weight that I've got these samples in. I have another sample. So this one is knitted by my lovely mother-in-law Liz, who's knitted this in an advent that I had a couple of years ago. This yarn is from the little grey girl from the Nutcracker advent. I think that was 2 years ago that I had in my stash. So Liz has knitted this, so it does come up very slightly bigger than mine because I am a tighter knitter than her. If I show you the difference. So if you are a looser knitter, it might come out slightly different. It's not a mega amount, just maybe an inch or 2 longer in the front. So it is slightly bigger. I can feel like the knitting is a bit more of an open knit than mine, just because of her gauge. But it doesn't really matter. As long as it's big enough to wrap nicely around your neck, that's all that matters. So this is the one it's 24 different colours and using 10 grams. But like I said, you could use 20-gram minis and only need 12 of them. It's got a point at this end, there's a point either side, and one in the middle there. So there we go. So that is the one in a sort of brighter colour scheme if you're not so keen on the muted colours that I did. So the ones that I've used in this shawl are the Advent colours from the Woodland Wonders Advent from last year that I knitted up in a gorgeous MCN, and this one is a just a 4-ply merino yarn that the little grey girl dyed up. But I think that looks nice in the 2 sort of different colourways. You could use scraps actually, or just bring together a bunch of minis that you've got in your stash. So that is the Dragon's Trove shawl. It goes with the Dragon's Trove Advent, and it's inspired sort of by a dragon's wing, loosely really, because I wanted to make it quite simple so it's a really nice easy knit. You've got this centre portion here, which is actually a V shape rather than a flat, because I hate it. If you're doing one of those sort of crescent shaped shawls, sometimes you end up with like a bump, but because this is sort of a V to start with, it always sort of lies nicely, and it goes nicely around your neck, whether you're doing it from the front or around your shoulders. I'll put this one around me like I'm using it as like a scarf. That's the other way I like to wear my shawls. So you can pop it like that and you can still see all the lovely colours, even if you're going to have a coat on top of it and just wear it like a scarf. But there we go, that pattern will be out this Friday. That's the 14th of November, all ready in time for Advent. You've got a couple of weeks to get your needles together, get yourself ready to start sort of Advent knitting. If you want to, you could start it before then though. I've got 2 more patterns that are going, so I'll quickly show you some examples of those that I've knitted. I have the Anisoptera mittens, which have got a dragonfly. Anisoptera, it's the fancy name for it. You've got the dragonfly at the front, and there's some little details like the rolled over top. You've got some ribbon and pearl ridges there to give you a bit of squishiness, and those are designed for both fingering weight and DK weight as well, so those patterns will be going up on the same day as well. I want to show you the sock alongside this because you can see this better in a single colour. So it's the same design on the sock, the dragonfly, but this is all striped. You can do it obviously in one colour if you wanted to, but it's the same dragonfly design on the socks as well. The socks are fingering weight and DK as well, and here's a sample that I knitted when I designed it. I've put this on the blocker, but you can't really see the dragonfly very well, but it looks like this when you want to look up close up to it. I've done a contrast heel and cuff on this one. You could make this with minis as well if you wanted to. So there we go, we have 3 new patterns. What I will be doing as well is if you purchase the pattern before Monday this weekend, you'll get a 10% discount on those. I think what I might do actually is I'll do a 10% discount on all my sort of advent themes and my new patterns over on Ravelry and on my website as well. So if you want to get them at a 10% discount, I'd grab them before Monday. So those of you who've already purchased one of my advents, you'll have received the pattern already, but they will be going up to the public on Friday the 14th. So I have been doing a little bit of knitting on my mystery knit-alongs. First of all, I won't even say I'm warning you now because I'm so behind on this, and most people have finished theirs already, I think. This is my Stephen West Mystery MusciKAL, and I've started clue 2. The actual mystery knit-along finished, I'd say, a couple of weeks ago now, but I do feel like the first clue is a little bit more time consuming anyway, and now I'm on to clue 2. I think I'm going to whiz through that, and I'm having a few days off next week, so hopefully I'll get quite a bit of this done and I'll be able to have a finished item. But I am loving the way this is working up. I chose a set of yarns that go together, but there's quite a subtle difference between sort of 3 of them. There's 3 purples. If I get them out of the bag, you'll be able to see. So I've got these 3 purples, which they're quite similar. So if you've got a very, very busy pattern, it doesn't look as obvious and it doesn't look as busy having the sort of similar colours. And then I've chosen my little pop of colour as the pink, and this is inspired by the song Running in the Family, and I'm really enjoying working on this. It's really, really fun. I loved doing these sections on section 1. They are a little bit sort of time consuming, and I wouldn't say they're really difficult, but when you're setting up your brioche section, you need to sort of concentrate and not be sitting at a knit night trying to count your stitches or get your setup right. Once you get your setup for the brioche section, once you've done a couple of rows, it's then quite easy. It's just that first row or so, just making sure that you've got it set up okay. I really love how this is coming along. I have done I've done the brioche. You don't have to do brioche if you didn't want to. There's a garter section option if you didn't want to do the brioche section. If I open it up a bit, you can see that there's the 2 colours there. It's sort of a bit cinched in because of the shape that it's knitted. Once it's blocked as well, I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I'm very excited to get on to the next squiggly bit because it's then the bright pink. So I chose so you have A, B, C and D colours. I chose to do the bright pink for the colour B so that it would pop out on these welts that you do in the first section. And the next section, it sort of gets you to sort of do a different colour sort of as the highlight. And I did think, well, maybe I should mix it up and do these sections in between these squiggly bits. It probably doesn't make much sense to you because I haven't done much of it, but there's these wider sections and then there's an eyelet section between, which is sort of your little pop of colour, and some people have done that colour in the sort of very contrast, which would be the pink in my case, but I decided to stick with actually how I'd assigned my A, B and C and D, because then I get a bigger section of the pink. So I'm going to see how that goes. I probably will regret it and wanted to do just a little sliver of colour in the bright pink, but we'll see how that goes. I wanted to do it a bit different. So I know that my friend Pauline has been knitting this in the same colours, and she's done it in a different order. So it's going to be really interesting to compare hers to mine with the same sort of colour set. What I will do is when I finish mine, I'll get a picture of Pauline's and we will put them up against each other and see how different they look. It is difficult to decide where you're going to put your colours anyway, because you didn't know what it was going to look like in the end to start with when you sort of decide what colours to do. Although I did start mine on the last clue, so I did cheat a bit, but then I wasn't really thinking ahead about the next clues. I was just thinking about clue 1 when I chose my colours. I'm just doing mine in merino and nylon. I did want to do it in MCN, but I ended up selling more kits, and somebody asked me for an MCN version, so I thought, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll do it in merino and nylon for now. It's nice, but that MCN is just a little tiny bit squishier, and I only really use MCN for shawls because it does pill a little bit, but because you're using it as a shawl, it then doesn't get as much sort of wear, if you know what I mean. If I wouldn't do MCN for a garment, for instance. But I'm absolutely loving this. It's a lot of fun. You might think that the Summer Stephen Wests are a little bit busy, but I think it really does depend on the colours that you choose. And they're so much fun, I can't not do it. And I've also got to finish last year's. Next year, I'm definitely going to start my advents in like February, so that I am free of too much extra work when the first clue comes out in October. But I am pleased that I'm still sort of sticking to it. And I'm sorry if you guys have already seen these all over Instagram and everything already. I'm a bit slow. But there we go. That is the thing. That's the main thing that I've sort of been working on. Oh, I tell you what I have finished. I should have told you about this first. I've got my Gnupkin. So this is Gnupkin. He's a pattern by Sarah Schira by Imagine Landscapes. And she's designed this really cute little gnome. So it was a mystery knit along, but I did sort of change it slightly. There were some pearl bumps that you were supposed to knit into the body of the sort of pumpkin so that you could mark where you were putting your legs, but I went a bit off-piste, ignored those and put my legs where I wanted them to be. Oh dear. And I also, when I did the hat, I stuffed it quite firmly as well, because I thought it looked like the sorting hat from Harry Potter when it was a bit more stiffly stuffed. I can still squish it, but she said just stuff it quite loosely, not too tightly. So I did mine a little bit more stuffed than the original design. But there we go. I'll turn him round so you can see him. This is sort of finished, but I'm thinking, do I need to do some tiny little arms just here, just to finish him off? What do you reckon? I need to do a giveaway for something I'm going to show you a bit later. So, can you tell me whether I should put the little arms on, just a little tiny I-cord, to finish him off a little bit? Tell me what you think, and then I'll pick a winner, and I'll show you the prize on the What's a Curving section later. So, in the comments, just let me know whether you think I should add the arms or not, and I'll pick a winner on the next podcast episode, which will be in 2 weeks. But I am quite pleased with him. I did really enjoy sort of getting the clues, and I was a bit late starting. So again, I really want to start these mystery knit-alongs on the day that they actually start next time. I think the size of the clues, obviously, because this is a very small item compared to the shawl, is a lot more manageable. So if you you could do one of the clues in sort of an evening's knitting if you're a relatively quick knitter. And I think there's a Christmas one which comes with little bits of story and things during the Christmas Advent time. So I'm excited I have to join in that one as well. So this one is going to join my other 2 gnomes. See, Jensen did originally have these, but I've nabbed them to come in my craft room here, just in front of me on the sewing machine. So I've got a little clan of gnomes living in my craft room at the moment. I suppose Jensen might nab them back in a bit, but I did have them in here because I was enjoying them looking at them. But there we go. That is Gnumpkin by Sarah Schira. There was like a witchy version which had some hair, and I don't think it had a beard. It just had hair instead of the beard. The hat was a bit more pointy and the leg stripes were different, but the same body was sort of the basis of that one as well. But there we go. That is the finished item of knitting this week. Oh, I think that's all for my knitting section. I haven't had loads of time because I needed to. So Liz knitted this sample for me, but I did the cast off edge and sewed all the ends, and it did take me most of one evening to do that. But I must admit, I do love this cast-off technique. I have got a video tutorial for this one, and I'll pop a link to that in the description bar down below. So if you need help doing the different, it's an Icelandic bind-off for this, just makes it fit in with the rest of the sort of garter stitch shawl really well. I'm very, very tempted to knit one of these in this year's advent that I've got. I've got a couple of advents, actually. I'm tempted to knit another one of these in that advent that I've bought, and perhaps not just stick to the amount of rows that I've done in these ones, but maybe knit a bit more of the actual yarn, because I've got 24 20-gram minis, so I don't know. We shall see, because I do like a huge shawl. This is quite big, but I don't think you can ever get too big. It's a bit like a blanket. Right, anyway, I stopped waffling on about my knitting and I'll go on to the sewing section. So if you didn't see, I did a video tutorial on how to make this little advent bag on on last week's video. And I'm going to try and make 24 of these. Not that I'll get it done for this year, but you know. I've done a tutorial for one, and then you can, if you do the same as me, make a few at a time, and then eventually in a couple of years you'll have enough. But they obviously, because you need to make 24, it does seem like quite a big job. But I think it's worth it. You've got a fully lined, nice bag with wadding in the middle as well, with handles. And it's made so that you can put your yarn advents in there. So you can get one of those paper bags with a 20-gram mini easily in here. So I tend to put my advents in a larger size bag because sometimes I have quite big extras in there. So I've made this bag big enough to hold those. So it'll be big enough for pretty much any yarn advent that people put in the little paper bags. You can pop that in there and then hang it up somewhere. So I thought you could stick it on the Christmas tree if you've got a big enough Christmas tree, or I thought about getting a cord and some pegs and just hanging them up as a little bit like bunting, I suppose, and then you've got your numbers on the front, so you can see which one to open. You don't have to do the numbers, I suppose, because they will be on the bags inside, but then it will be a bit more of a pain to find the next one if you haven't got them in chronological order. But I think it just makes it look really nice. You can hang your little minis up rather than keeping them in the box. What I've done is I've got templates for the numbers. I used some heat and bond to adhere to these, but if you watch the video it tells you a bit more about it. There's 3 templates for the numbers, 3 templates for the bag as well, so you can go and make your own in all your bits of leftover fabric. It does take quite a lot of fabric. I think in the video I said at the beginning that you'd need a fat quarter set, so you need at least a ½ metre of 5 fabrics rather than just a fat quarter set to do 24, and then you could use any fabrics for the inside because obviously keep the price down, or you could use your scraps of leftover. I think that if you were just going to do it out of one fabric for the lining and the outside, it would take about 4 meters of fabric, but obviously if you want different fabrics on the outside to make it look a little bit like make it a bit more exciting, then it'll take you a little bit more fabric because you're using separate pieces. But I think I said on the video that you'd only need a fat quarter set for the outside, but I did mean that you need a ½ metre of 5 fabrics, or I think the bare minimum you'd need is 8 fat quarters or 4 ½ meters of fabric, if that makes sense, just for the outside, and then you need lining fabric for that as well, so about 2 meters lining fabric. I'm waffling on quite a lot. If you're interested in making one for yourself, we'll pop a link in the description bar down below and you can watch that free tutorial. Obviously you can use whatever fabrics that you've got, and I thought you could do little English paper piece hexagons on the outside of here, or all sorts of applique actually, if you've got the time. Just obviously take quite a long time if you've got 24 to do. But that is my sewing. I did mean to do some dressmaking this week, which I've got ready to go, but I just didn't have time because we're doing lots of holiday prep. I'm having a few days off next week, so we didn't have time to do that. But I'm waiting to do it. I also might have some confessions as well. Well, that goes nicely into the confessions section. Okay, so I was really naughty and I was thinking, oh, really could do with a handmade Christmas jumper, because I've been looking at them in like M&S and Sainsbury's and things, and I think, oh, I don't like the fabric. It's not very, it's either very polyestery or fits rubbish. Well, to be honest, most of them, they're very polyester heavy or synthetic fibres, and they just don't fit very well because obviously they're not made just for me. This is very me. Pinks and blues. I saw Christmas trees. I suppose it doesn't necessarily mean Christmas, but for me it's Christmassy. It's just pink and blue instead. And I've bought myself 1.5 meters of this. This is a French terry. So this is from an Etsy shop called Lilac and Rose. And I just Googled Christmas fabrics, and I saw this one. I thought, oh, not that I need any more fabric, but it's Christmassy-ish. So what I want to do is make like a sweatshirt out of it. This is a French terry though, so it's not mega heavy, but I think sometimes if it's a little bit of a lighter sweatshirt, then I can pop layers underneath, and I'm not so restricted on sort of having a thick jumper on and then sometimes not being able to wear anything underneath because it's too hot. I am in a waffly mood today, aren't I? Oh dear. So I just thought this was really gorgeous. So this is a French terry, so there's loops on the back. It's a cotton and spandex mix. I think it's 95% cotton and 5% spandex, so there is some stretch. There is a little bit of, if you stretch it quite a lot, the print does deform very slightly, but to be honest, because it's a French terry and I'm going to make a sweatshirt with it, I'm not going to have a point where my body's going to be stretching it out at all like that. So it's going to be quite a loose fitting garment, so that's not to worry about. I think I'm going to get some ribbon to go on the neck and the cuff and the bottom band, because I think it would be really nice to have a solid colour there because it's quite a busy fabric. But I'm really excited about it. I thought a Billy sweatshirt by Tilly and the Buttons, because I love that pattern. I've already got it sort of sorted. I think I did a full bust adjustment and I changed the length of it, and I also changed the neck of it as well, just to make it a little bit lower because the Billy comes up quite high on me. So I've got that all sort of modified, ready to go, so I can cut it out. I just need to give this a wash before I actually cut it out so that it doesn't shrink at all. Not that a lot of fabrics shrink these days, to be honest, but I always like to give it a wash before I actually cut it out. But that's a bit exciting, isn't it? A bit naughty, but nice. Oh dear, oh my goodness. I also have a big confession to make, but I haven't got it to show you. So I went to the Blue Fern Yarn's afternoon tea last weekend, and the Lonely Knitter had a little stall, and she had some lovely yarn, which I'll show you in a minute. But she also had one of these mood bags. Now I always thought it was mud, but obviously it's mood because there's 2 U's, and it was a black sort of boxed bottom one, which similar to the sort of pattern I worked out how to make, but I thought I really fancied having a leather one, and I thought I could use it as a handbag, and I nearly bought one of the redesigned ones, but I decided against it because I was a bit worried about having the larger redesigned, which has the big long handle, because I was a bit worried if I was going to take it out and about, it'd be too big to have on the table, just for a small sort of out and about project. But these mood bags, they have the smaller one with the big long handle on, so that's what made me have this one. So I'm going to pop a picture up here of the actual version that I purchased, but there's so many more designs. I was very excited about that Laura had bought to the sale day. So I'm going to see how that goes, and I might purchase some more. But the reason why I haven't got it is because Mum said, oh, I'll buy you that for Christmas. So she's took it off me and paid me the money for it. Which I don't mind at all, because it saves her having to think of something, and I know I'm going to love it. So there we go. And that's going to be for Christmas. And also it makes me feel less guilty about buying things randomly for no reason for myself. But there you go. So I'm really excited to use that, and I will give you a sort of feedback on it once I start using it after Christmas. But it looks gorgeous, so I'm really excited to use that. I also bought a DK skein of the Lonely Knitter in the Quality Enemies. Well, it's all of Space and Time set in the Quality Enemies colourway in Luxury DK 100% Superwash Merino. And I thought that this would be a good prize for you guys. I also bought one of Shannon's goodie bags with the yarn for the actual afternoon tea was called Royalty on her classic sock. So what I thought I'd do is do these two yarns, and I know that this one's DK and this one's finger and weight, but I thought it would make a nice little prize to give to you guys. So I will talk. Actually, I said I'd talk about it in the what's occurring section, but I might as well say now. So if I said to you about commenting whether you think I should have the arms on my gnome or Gnumpkin, if you comment whether you think I should add arms, and then I will draw a prize winner for these two skeins. And there was some little extras that came with the actual goodie bag kit, and I'll pop those in to the little surprise, as a little surprise as well, for the winner. So I will select a winner from the comments in 2 weeks' time when I do the next podcast. So make sure that you're watching the video so that you can see who's won, and then you can email me full name and postal address so I can get it sent out to you. So don't forget to comment on this video so that you could be in with a chance of winning these two skeins and some lovely little bobs and little goodies that I'll pop in there as well. So I can now reveal to you the 12 colours that the Giddy Yarn's Halloween countdown was, and this was based on vampires. And there was a little piece of paper in each day, like this one, that told you about like a book and tells you a little bit about the book series, which is vampire related. But here's the most important thing: the lovely yarns. I was very pleased that the Vampire Knitting Club was mentioned in one of these minis as well, because I do love the Vampire Knitting Club books. They're a bit cheesy and they're just quite a nice relaxing read. I actually listened to them on Audible, which makes it a little bit easier to sort of knit and read at the same time. I can knit and read at the same time, but it depends on how complicated it is. But if I'm just listening to it, it's much easier. But isn't that lovely? Lovely spread of colours. And I've popped it on a ribbon there and have that on display for a little while in my craft room before I decide what to do with it. I know that one of my friends, Karen's, decided to do like a Cozy Memories blanket with hers. But I'm thinking maybe a shawl or something. Ooh, maybe I should do... I'm a bit obsessed with my new pattern at the moment. Maybe I should do one of these with that, because it can be 12, 20 gram minis as well. We shall see how I get on, whether I'll do that or maybe I should choose one of my another advent that I've got, which I will reveal to you closer to the time, because I don't want to spoil it, because I don't even want to spoil what the other bag looks like when it's that it comes with. But I've got 2 advents to show you later. I am really waffling today. I'm really sorry about that. But this is from Giddy Yarns, and Helen makes some beautiful yarn. This is the sparkly base because I fancied a bit of sparkle. And I have got her monthly club for October. So if you don't want to see the monthly club that Helen's got from Giddy Yarns, look away now. I'm going to quickly show it to you. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Really pretty. And they're all, the whole year of club is sort of in the same sort of colour scheme, so it all goes together nicely. I think I might do something like that for the next year, because I fancy getting myself a crocheted blanket started. Anyway, I haven't actually cast on any of the yarns from the Sweet Shop Minis yarn club that I've got from Helen, but I have got plans to do some sort of blanket with it, I think. I'm not sure yet, but we shall see. I think that's all the purchases. I've got a crazy amount of purchases this time. It's really naughty. I suppose it's getting up to Christmas, and then because you're buying Christmas presents, you think, oh, I'll just treat myself. Just treat myself. Oh dear, I'm horrendous, aren't I? Oh no. Anyway, we're now on to the what's occurring section. First thing I wanted to mention is that the Yarn and a Teacup shop run by Karen, which is a relatively new shop in Norwich on Sprowston Road, she stocks some of my yarn as well. So if you're ever near there, do pop in and have a little look. But she's such a lovely lady, and she's got a really lovely community, and she does like 3 knit nights a week. I think that's on a Wednesday morning, a Thursday evening and a Saturday morning, I think. But if you look on her website, you'll be able to see what those dates are, or at least on Instagram it is. But lovely Karen, who runs Yarn and a Teacup, and Angie, who's a very regular visitor to the Yarn and a Teacup, have started to do a podcast, and they are really, really good. I definitely recommend you to go over and have a watch of their first episode. It's about an hour long, but there is so much content in there, lots and lots of projects that they've both been doing, and it's lovely how they sort of get on together. And I love how Angie says something at the end of the video about the comments. Oh dear, that's really funny. And so definitely worth a watch. So Yarn and a Teacup, new podcast video on YouTube, and I'll pop a link to that in the description bar down below. The next thing I wanted to just say is thank you ever so much to everybody who bought a ticket for the Big Stitch Night, which is the preceding evening event to the East Anglia Yarn Festival for next year. So Laura asked me to sort of take it on because she's got quite a lot to deal with the East Anglia Yarn Festival. So I'm doing the charity knit night, or craft, I shouldn't just say knit, stitch night, the Big Stitch Night. And it's all for the Big C charity. So we've already got all of the tickets sold. So thank you so, so much. It's going to be an evening of crafty chatter. We've got the usual raffle. We're going to have a little bit of bingo, I think. Just one game, because it might get a bit too much. And a little bit of a quiz, just to have a bit of fun, mix it up a little bit. So really looking forward to seeing everybody. And I shall see you there. The next thing I wanted to mention is Barbara's Day Out is this weekend on the 15th of November. It's in Wretham Village Hall in Thetford. That's the postcode IP24 1RL, and it's from 1 till 4 p.m. And it's in a village hall. So my lovely friend Sylvia is organising it. So she's doing a little bit of a buffet, and a few of us are bringing some cakes as well. So that'll be really nice. So we're just charging £2 entry to cover the room, obviously because we need to rent it out for those few hours where everyone sort of comes and visits. So it's not very expensive. Loads of lovely food that Sylvia makes, and other people are bringing cakes and things as well, and savouries. But it'll be lovely to see you. So do come and join us. You don't have to sort of let me know. You can just turn up. It's just £2 entry when you get in. Normally we do it at a venue where you just buy your own drink or whatever. But obviously we need to rent out a village hall. So we're just charging £2 a head. Just a reminder, don't forget the giveaway. Let me know whether I should do arms on Gnupkin, and you could win the prize of the couple of skeins from the Lonely Knitter and the Blue Fern yarns, and some little extras that came in with the goodie bag as well. So comment down below and I'll pick a winner next time on the podcast in 2 weeks. So we have a shop update now. So I'm going to delay the December colour of the month release until the November the 24th, just because I'm going to have a few days away next week. We're going to go to Centre Park, so that'll be really nice. It's only just taken a few days though, so I should be posting on Monday and Friday still, but in the middle of the week you might have a bit of a delay on any parcels ordered between those dates, but I will try and get those out on Friday if you do order between Monday and Friday. I did show the fabric on the podcast last week, but I do have a large zipped version of the autumn fabric that I got. I think I called it Autumn Forest on the website. You can order this fabric by the ½ metre as well as the lining as well. This is one of my really large project bags. You can get several projects. Look, it's huge. It's way bigger than my head. So this is the zipped version. And I do a drawstring version too, which is about the same size, but the drawstring comes here, so it's slightly smaller on the inside. So I just wanted to show you one of the bags made up, and that is the large zipped version. I will be getting some photographs of the other sizes of bag on the website soon, but if you actually look on the listing, there's a little video that shows all my different bag sizes, and they are the same for each print. This one I decided to do the fabric all over because it is so gorgeous. Look at those lovely woodland animals there. There's even some moths and hares and foxes and deer as well. So those are in the shop. I do have the Liberty fabrics for November listed in the shop now. You can order those. Once the month that I've sort of introduced them has gone, the price goes up a little bit. So there's a slight price reduction for early purchase. And also, if you subscribe, after you've done it for 3 months, you get a price reduction even further. So if you're a subscriber to the Fabric Fat Quarter Bundle club, then you do get a bit more of a reduction as well. So if you subscribe now, it will only go to the end of the year, though. I'll have a new one in January, and I will be doing a new Liberty Fat Quarter Bundle club in January, because I've already ordered all of the fabric to last me for every month. So I'm definitely doing it because I've ordered it now. And they just deliver it each month, so I know what the fabric is ahead of time. I have some new Opal yarns going in the shop. I've got 5 new colourways from the Funky range, and I've come up really nicely knitted, so I'll show you closely on the ball band what they look like knitted up. Lovely pinks and blues. I've got this one. This is also quite pinky and bluey as well. I've got a tendency to pick sort of pinks and blues, but these are the ones that I really loved. This one is quite a sort of subdued blue and grey colour palette, but I thought it was a bit different, the stripes, compared to normal. I don't always have the full set of the yarns because I think some of them look a little bit similar, but I picked the ones that I thought were sort of a little bit more distinctive and the prettiest, really. So there we are. Those are going in the shop tomorrow. 5 new Opal yarns. There we go. Oh, I do have some new Christmas fabrics that I've got. I haven't actually made the bags up yet, so I will list the fabrics Friday. So I've got some new mitten fabric, which I think is really cute. I'm thinking I might put like a pinky red as the lining. I'm not sure though. Of course, you could request a different colour lining if you don't like the ones in the pictures. And I also have this one. This one isn't even out of the bag. I'm going to take it out of the bag. This is like a little winter village as well. I think that's really nice. So these will be like the autumn one I showed you. These will be overall print bags. And I'll also decide what contrast I'm going to do for the bag lining as well. But the fabrics will be on sale on the website on Friday. And then once I get round to making up a set of bags, I'll put them on the website. And then I'll do pre-orders for any of the different sizes, because I do a small, medium and large bag. Small is good for sort of a small sock project, or maybe a small shawl, one skein, or maybe 2. You could probably squeeze 2 in there, but mainly for one sort of skein projects. The medium size, you can get sort of easily 3 skeins in there. Actually, I say that, but this is my medium size one, and I got 4 skeins in for the MusciKAL. That's a medium. That's a drawstring version, so that's 4 skeins in there, and that fits nicely. And then when you've got this large bag, that just takes loads and loads of yarn. So if you look at the size of that one with 4 skeins compared to this, I think last time I looked, I think I could get 15 skeins in there with no trouble. If you've got a couple of projects that you want to pop in the same bag, or you can actually put the smaller yarn bags inside the larger one to sort of keep them all together. I've got one of the drawstring large bags, and I pop a couple of the medium sized ones in there so that they're sort of all together. And then with the drawstring ones, I always turn over the top edge so you can make it a bit like a bucket, I suppose. So over to you now, Jensen. Right, Jensen, I found this in the drawer. It's a baby vertebrae cardigan, and it's knitted, I think, 18 to 24 month size. I'll leave a link in the description bar down below for the pattern. You got your you sitting on your fire engine. Yeah. You're going to break Oh, should we try it on and see if it still fits? Because it's knitted in a sport weight yarn. It come up slightly bigger than the original pattern. You'll be nice and cosy because you've got short sleeves on today, haven't you? Oh, the arms are a little bit short. Oh, look how much you've grown. I think you could probably get away with it. A little bit short. You can still put it on though. I think we might need to, yeah, the arms are a bit short. The sides of this one aren't supposed to go right round anyway. And I thought, Jensen, because you said you really like this one, you want to try this on as well? How are you going to wear it? Like a shawl or a scarf?
Shawl.
Like a shawl? There we are. Oh my goodness. You look gorgeous. Come here, let's tie this bit over here. I think you should wear that. Yeah. And you like rainbows as well, don't you? Okay, you want the bottom bit out, do you?
I want two out. Two.
Oh, okay. We've got the legs of the camera open.
Three. Two. Wait, this.
Okay, thank you very much for adjusting it for me. Can you give me a big twirl? Thank you. You're going to look at all these toys on the coffee table. Oh dear. Thank you very much, Jensen. Can you say bye-bye to everybody?
Bye.
Is that a frog hop? That's it, frog hop.
Bye-bye.
In a wave.
Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And you can also give me a hype as well. If you know what it is. It's a bit hidden, I think, sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in the episode in 2 weeks. There might be a little video next week, depending on whether I have time to record one today or tomorrow before we go away for a few days. And I shall see you in 2 weeks. Bye.